Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and comment on the videos. I hope you enjoy the show. Now, let's go. Hello, Billy Ho here. Coming at you with week 4 already. Wow. Week 4 NFL DraftKings main Sunday slate. And here we are. Before we get started, welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Thank you for watching. The only thing I ask is click that subscribe button, and we're good. I appreciate it. Doesn't cost you a dime, but it has a lot of value to me. So I appreciate you doing that. And leave a comment on the. And if you like the video, click the like button. All that good stuff is good for the algorithms and all that good thing. So if you haven't subscribed, like I said, I think if you have subscribed already, thank you. I appreciate you. Now, this is going to be the early look at some of the best game stacks on the Sunday slate for week 4. This is the first week we have a London game. So mental note, there's 9:30 a.m. kickoff for the East Coast, the best coast, the only coast, time zone. So get ready for that. Vikings and Saints. So this week we're going to have 12 games and not 13. So be sure to stick around. Toward the end of the video, I got a couple of little tidbits on some stacks that I like this week. I think you'll like it too. So it'll up my time and give you guys some good strategy. So the first part of the strategy, which I'm not going to get into too much, but I just want to let you guys know if you're new, the first thing you want to do is look at the Vegas odds, the point spread, and the implied team totals. What I mean by implied team totals is each individual team has an implied total, and then you have an overall over-under Vegas total. So one team A might be 24 points, and team B might be 27 points, and now you got a 51 over under. So that's always the first thing to look at, right? So we're going to look at some games now. And I don't have the Vegas odds for next week. We still got the Monday night game. Go Cowboys, get that W. And Cooper Rush season has begun. So be on the lookout for that. And let's take a look at the big board. Seattle, Detroit. They're starting to let Geno cook a little bit. See what I did there? 44 passes, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad for 5,400. And they're at Detroit. I mean, they may roll it out. I mean, it's not like they tried to slow it down against Atlanta. They should have won that game at home, but they're not a very good defense, which is all the more reason to get on Detroit. The running game might be tight. Jamal Williams, keep an eye on DeAndre Swift because he shoulder injury. Yeah, and ankle. So, wow, talking about him taking the next 2 weeks off because the team's got a week 6 bye coming up. That's interesting. So we'll keep that in mind. So if they give him time off, our boy Jamal Williams is 6,100 is nice. So if we clear this and we game stack this, that's our run back. And then you take Geno Smith, which I know it sounds funny, but you got DK Metcalf at 6,800, who nobody's going to want to play, but 12 targets. He could only get 5 of them for 64 yards. He dropped a touchdown. Geno's not, he's efficient and accurate, but not always. But that's not bad. As long as he's getting the targets, then things could eventually turn around for him. So if you went Metcalf, and then obviously you can double stack. Now, this is a Q tag. Amon-Ra St. Brown left the game and then came back, and he wasn't very. He only had like 2 more catches for 73 yards. So it's an ankle, might be sore. I think he just went off and had it retaped and then gutted it out. Maybe he even had a shot. Excuse me. But 7,700, man, for as popular as he might be, if he sheds this Q tag, I don't know. It's hard to say. Chark is another one. 6 targets, not bad for $5,000. I mean, I'd like to see the targets bump up, but if for some rhyme or reason ASB is out, I will definitely be on some Chark and I will definitely be on some Reynolds, because either one of those 2 guys can fit a golf stack. You can do almost whatever you want with these stacks. Not nearly as expensive as you can see. So we're digging it. Jamal Williams had 20 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. So he can definitely sniff that end zone on a weak, taut Seattle defense. So keep an eye on that. And you're not spending that much salary. So another wonky, I'd call, stackable game. This is the wonky week. Last week was the blow up week. I didn't know what to do last week. There was so much talent, so many top end running backs, so many top end wide receivers. The quarterbacks were there. You had it was just really, really tough to gauge what to do and to get it right on all accounts. So Cleveland and Atlanta is next up. I don't know what the actual total of this game will be. Probably mid 40s. Cleveland and Atlanta, they're not, you got just the juggernaut that is Jacoby Brissett, who actually looked all right on Thursday Night Football, and Marcus Mariota. So not too bad. So Amari Cooper's actually turning into a pretty solid receiver. Back-to-back 100-yard and touchdown games. So he just rinsed and repeated it. At Atlanta, he loves indoors. This is the first real chance he's had to be indoors on a fast track. So I am absolutely having some Amari. And you know what? When you see them lock button wide receiver videos coming out soon, that guy's probably going to be on there. Drake London's showing out a lot. I don't think Peoples-Jones, maybe because he's so cheap. But then you got both running backs, Chubb and actually Patterson on the Atlanta side. That's going to be tough sledding. He won't have it as easy as he did against Seattle with the $141 on 17 carries, but he might actually be more like that. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough call. I got to decide whether or not to play him in my season long next week. But I digress. Kareem Hunt's not a bad play at 6K if you want to pivot off of Chubb. All he needs is the touchdown. I mean, he's getting just enough work. So, that's 15 touches. And, targets are more valuable than carries. So they say. No touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. So he could be in there. And all he needs is that touchdown. He might be, I don't know if you want to call it cash game, but he only needs 18 to 3X. So I think he could get more than 47 yards rushing on 12 attempts. And he could catch a few more. He could definitely get more yards receiving. So I think he gets closer to 15 and then gets a touchdown. And we're looking at more like this 23 points. He doesn't need 2 touchdowns. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. I think a little bit more Kareem Hunt love this week. And so anyway, Chubb, Hunt, Cooper for Cleveland, and London, CPAT, and Pitts, who actually showed up last week for Atlanta. You can do a 2-to-1 stack without having a quarterback and be fine, in my opinion. Because I definitely don't think Brissett can carry 2 people there. Because this is ceiling. 17, 18 DraftKings points. That's ceiling. 22 because he gets an extra touchdown and maybe a few more yards, but he doesn't run the ball. If he stole one rushing, I'd be stunned. Mariota is definitely a rushing upside guy. So if I was going to play a quarterback, it would definitely be him. He hasn't run it the last 2 weeks, but he did get the rushing touchdown. So, he's 17 to 25. 27 is probably his ceiling, but 5,600, I'll take it. So we'll keep an eye on that game. And let's see. Next up on the list of games is Tennessee-Indy. Last year at Indianapolis, this game went 34-31. I don't expect the same results just because there's different people. But you got Matt Ryan instead of Carson Wentz. But Ryan actually got his team motivated, got it going, and he did what Matt Ryan does: 222 and 2 touchdowns. That's what Matt Ryan does. He can't quite bring 2 pass catchers along, so he is not a stackable quarterback. Pittman, and that's about it. I don't know what this guy Woods, where he came from, but if you want to try, I think it was probably because no, Mo Alley Cox. I don't know. Granson. Dude caught 2 touchdown passes. The game winner. Who knew, right? But if you want to chase that, go for it. You're going to fail every time. So I don't like any of these wide receivers. I thought Austin Hooper would be a thing, but he's garbage. He must be just doing more blocking than anything, but that's fine. So the guys I'm looking at, Bob Woods showed up, 9 targets, 85 yards, not bad. So he'd be an interesting guy to play. This looks like a mini stack game to me. I don't think I can feel comfortable running Tannehill. He did throw it. Now, this is what Tannehill does. He throws for 264 and 1 or 2 touchdowns, and then he got that 1-yard plunge where he calls his own number. He does that sometimes. Not all the time, but if he gets that second touchdown, then 5,500, that's pretty good. But like I said, there's ways to do this because you have Taylor and Henry, and you can do a 2-to-1 if you can afford it. So it would be like say Taylor, and then you go Burks, or like Pittman Taylor, Burks 2-to-1, or Henry Burks Pittman 2-to-1, something like that. That's where I would go with it. But I definitely wouldn't play the quarterbacks. So Henry getting involved in the passing game is definitely, it's not chasing. I think he's due for another good game. I figured he was going to be just blind playing. He looked like he was really close to a slate breaker type game, but he just didn't get over the 100 bonus. That one more touchdown in the 100 bonus, and it's 35 and not 25. So there you go. He got stat jacked by Tannehill on the 1, and that will happen. So I'm not overly pissed off about that. Let's see. I think this is the last game. One more game. Let's do one more. I said 6. You get 6. Half a dozen. Las Vegas and Denver. I wonder if you all think maybe this might be the time to jump on Russ Wilson after everybody thought he was going to be the shit, and he struggled coming out of the gate, and he didn't look very good. They won 11-10 last night. Everybody's going to be like, Russ, he ain't doing shit. So let's go back. Just a curiosity on that one. I don't know what the total will be. They're at Las Vegas in a dome. It's not my favorite stack, but we could see some scoring. Russ, if you do want to stack Russell Wilson, I'm sure he's gone down in price. 6,700 is not bad. He still throws it. I mean, he still had. Look at all the attempts. He's just not the normal efficient Russ. He only had 184, no touchdowns. He's not running it either. So that's tough. He is trying to depend on but I mean they lost to Seattle by that 1 point, but then they've muddled their way to 2-1. So I don't know. But you can hit up Russ Wilson, and you're obviously, I mean, if you think Jamal Williams could carry Jamal Williams, because like maybe he gets one of these 11 reception games like he did at Seattle. That's a tall order for a $6,600 running back that splits. And it's not an even split, but Gordon is taking enough right now where I'm not paying 6,600 for Jamal Williams or Javonte Williams, excuse me. So remember when Zamir White was something? Ghosted. Don't listen to touts. Josh Jacobs was sick. He still got in there, 5 receptions. He gutted it out. If he could get this 5 for 31, I'd play him every week because he's going to be 5,500 and he's going to get 13. He's the 20 touch guy. This is what you get when he don't catch 5 for 31. You're getting 9 and not 15 to 20. And all he needed was a touchdown to pay off. So tough sledding there. But Sutton, Judy, and Waller. There's your game stack. 5,100 to spend. You dump a wide receiver down here, X wide receiver for sub 4K, just on a guess. Find a defensive team that's cheap. And now you got $6,400 left to go. That's not bad. You can still get, and you can also actually run Derek Carr in a game stack. 5,800 is definitely a nice price. He's throwing it, like I said last week's video, 303 and 2 touchdowns, 23 points for 5,800. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got Darren Waller. He may have Renfro back, but he's got this new dude. If you never heard of him, he's Mac Hollins. He's the real Mac. The flavor in your ear, Craig Mack. If you remember that shit. 4,200. I played the shit out of him last week at 3,300. And I should have won all the money. I'm disappointed that I didn't. I took 0 at tight end on some of the big lineups I had. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. Took enough of your time. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the 2 contests, PGA and NFL contests, are out. They'll be in the description or in the comments somewhere. Twitter, you'll find it. BILLYAH40 on Twitter. Hit me up. I'll always interact anytime you tag me or anything like that. I'm not popular enough to warrant being weeding out the undesirables. So everybody counts or nobody counts, right? Let's go. Week 4, DraftKings. Till the next video, thanks for watching. See you soon.